Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News, your go-to source for trustworthy updates on Iraq's currency developments and revaluation efforts. As of the current date in the USA, something significant is making waves across global financial networks. For years, speculation surrounded whether Iraq would revalue its currency, but now that speculation has turned into confirmation. An official contract rate has been introduced, and it could mean a massive financial shift for dinar holders worldwide. Imagine checking your phone and seeing the headline, "Iraq has initiated its currency revaluation, and not only that, but a new contract exchange rate is live." This isn't another rumor circulating in investment circles. This is a verified update tied directly to the Central Bank of Iraq's evolving monetary reform efforts. For those who've held on to Iraqi dinar for years, this could be the moment you've been preparing for. Let's begin by understanding what a contract rate actually represents. In global currency exchanges, a contract rate is a pre-negotiated figure often agreed upon between government entities or institutional banks. It's usually higher than the public rate and may be offered to strategic partners, large investors, or through structured exchange windows. According to credible reports, Iraq's contract rate has now been set at 1 USD equals 500 IQD. That's more than double the current official rate, which sits near 1,310 IQD per USD. What does this mean in practical terms? If you've been holding 10 million dinar, your total cash out at the contract rate could reach $20,000. That's a substantial leap from its prior value. More importantly, the release of this rate signals that Iraq is no longer just considering revaluation as a concept. It has officially taken steps toward implementation, backed by institutional mechanisms. Iraq's progress toward this moment hasn't happened overnight. Over the past few years, the nation has made significant economic reforms behind the scenes, accumulating more than $120 billion, 0 cents in foreign reserves, bolstered by booming oil exports. International monetary bodies like the IMF have acknowledged Iraq's policy improvements, and new banking regulations have positioned the country for digital currency integration and improved global compliance. Offering a contract rate like this shows clear financial confidence and global readiness. Now let's explore eligibility. Historically, contract rates have been reserved for large-scale investors, private exchange groups, or VIP clients. But this time, reports suggest that Iraq may extend access to a broader pool of retail holders. Yes, everyday people who've held dinar for years. If true, this would be a game changer. However, participation may be limited, and acting within specific windows will likely be required. In short, preparation and timing will be everything. Why now, and why June 2025? Several factors have aligned in Iraq's favor. The economic climate is stable, oil prices are favorable, and the country has successfully cracked down on black market currency activity. Additionally, Iraq has recently enacted new legislation to support digital banking infrastructure and secure cross-border settlements. Meanwhile, regional tensions have eased, allowing Iraq to re-enter the global economy with greater stability and confidence. Let's talk impact. If you currently hold 5 million IQD, under the previous exchange rate of 1,310 per USD, your holdings were valued at about $3,800, 0 cents. With the new contract rate of 500 IQD per USD, that jumps to $10,000, 0 cents. For those with 25 million dinar, the new value becomes $50,000, 0 cents. A huge difference from the original $19,000, 0 cents value. This gain is exactly why many investors stayed patient through years of uncertainty. The next big question is, how do you participate? While Iraq hasn't released every detail yet, insiders report that selected banks, likely those partnered with the Iraqi government, may begin setting up special exchange appointments. This might involve pre-registration, proof of purchase, and either digital or in-person verification. You probably won't be able to walk into a local branch and simply exchange. This process may be highly structured and time-sensitive, with a limited number of slots available. Picking up from where we left off, if you're considering participating in this contract rate exchange, the key will be staying informed and ready to act. Many insiders suggest that once registration opens, the available appointments could be claimed quickly. Banks involved in this process may require verification documents such as receipts from authorized dealers, government-issued ID, and possibly even digital confirmations through secure banking portals. This won't be your typical walk-in currency exchange, it's a coordinated and monitored event. While the contract rate is gaining attention, there's another piece to watch closely: the public exchange rate. As of now, Iraq's official public rate remains at 1,310 IQD per USD. However, some experts predict that if the contract rate rollout goes smoothly, we could see a gradual adjustment of the public rate. Early indicators suggest the central bank might move to 1,100 IQD or even 800 IQD per USD as part of a phased revaluation. That alone would represent a significant value increase from where the dinar has been trading for the last several years. Beyond personal financial gain, this shift in policy also reflects Iraq's broader economic ambitions. The country has begun transitioning trade settlements away from the US dollar and toward local currency agreements with nations like China, Iran, and Russia. By lessening dependency on the dollar, Iraq is aiming to assert greater sovereignty over its economy. This new exchange rate, particularly if it holds or improves, could solidify Iraq's position as a competitive regional player, capable of managing large-scale trade in its own currency. This development also serves as a test of how Iraq is perceived globally. The introduction of a contract rate at 500 IQD per USD is a signal to international markets that the country is stepping forward. Investors who once doubted the dinar's potential are now watching closely. Some analysts even believe we may see further rate improvements in the coming months, possibly down to 400 or even 300 IQD per USD, depending on economic indicators like oil production, inflation management, and trade surplus growth. As with any financial breakthrough, caution remains essential. Scammers often exploit moments like this. If you receive unsolicited calls, emails, or messages claiming to offer special access to contract rates in exchange for fees or personal information, stop immediately. Legitimate exchanges will only occur through verified banking channels or government-regulated systems. Never provide your dinar to someone without documented procedures. And never send currency through mail unless you're using a tracked and insured method verified by the institution. You should also be planning for the tax consequences now. Any profit gained from exchanging dinar at a higher rate will likely be considered a capital gain by the IRS. Depending on your income level, you could owe anywhere from 15% to 37% in federal taxes, plus state-level taxes if applicable. Some investors are taking steps in advance by consulting certified tax professionals to explore legal ways of reducing liability, such as donation strategies, staggered exchanges, or the use of trusts or legal entities to manage large transactions. It's also worth taking time to prepare emotionally. Many of you have held on to dinar for a decade or more, facing skepticism from family or friends. You've waited patiently through political uncertainty and economic ups and downs. Today's contract rate announcement should serve as validation. This is not a rumor. It's a confirmed move that indicates Iraq's financial reform is real, measurable, and unfolding. In the days ahead, keep an eye out for announcements using terms like public rate adjustment, redeemable window, or multi-tier exchange. Watch for updates from Iraq's Ministry of Finance, the central bank, and possibly even advisories from the U.S. Treasury, especially as cross-border financial systems adjust to this shift. Some experienced investors are planning what's called a tiered exchange approach, where they trade a portion of their holdings at the initial contract rate to lock in gains, while holding back some in case better rates emerge. This strategy offers both security and flexibility, especially if rates continue to climb in response to global market acceptance. To close things out, this newly announced contract rate of $1 to 500 IQD represents a breakthrough for Iraq and a potential windfall for dinar holders. Whether you qualify for the contract tier or wait for changes to the public rate, one thing is clear: we are closer to a full revaluation than ever before. Iraq now has both the resources and infrastructure to support meaningful currency reform. The decisions you make now, in the lead up to the exchange, could determine how much of that gain you actually keep. So, what's your plan? Are you ready with documentation? Have you spoken to a tax advisor? Do you know which institutions you trust for the exchange? Preparation is no longer optional, it's essential. Thank you for tuning in to Iraqi Dinar News. If this update gave you value, share it with others in the community and subscribe to stay ahead of every new development. Your journey toward financial transformation starts with knowledge, caution, and smart planning. Until next time, stay sharp and stay prepared.